Well, I'm back. I kind of took a sabbatical there for a couple of weeks. Just didn't want to do any videos for a little bit. But yeah, yet again, you have Bob Costas here commenting on what's this guy's name? Belcher, Jovan Belcher, the Kansas City Chief player that killed his wife and then took his life in front of his coach, and he did so using a handgun. And in due fashion, you get these idiots. And I got to tell you, what's his name? Bob Costas. Uh, what an absolute dick. I'm sorry. What an absolute dick. Mr. Costas, you seem to make a lot of money off of football, which apparently everyone's blaming this guy for having this head injury, these brain traumas, which caused him to take painkillers, which led to his altered state of mind, which caused two people to be killed. Well, that's you, Mr. Costas. This is the sport that you're profiting on. You're profiting on people injuring themselves for your pleasure. Because if it wasn't for the head injury, then he wouldn't have killed these people. See, this is you. You're a profiteer. That's all you are. But no, you want to run out and you want to blame the gun. Okay, the device that has guaranteed our freedom for generations. Why do police use guns? Police don't use guns just to quote, go out and murder people. They use them to protect themselves and protect others. The gun is only a tool, and depending on how the person uses it, determines the intent of what the gun does, whether it's used for good or bad. The gun is just an inanimate object. But Mr. Costas and this Jason Whitlock, I guess, where is he from? The Kansas City paper or something. He was one who actually wrote the article that Bob Costas basically adopted and spouted off on air about. Basically, here's what he said if you haven't heard it. Said, our current gun culture ensures that more and more domestic disputes will end in the ultimate tragedy, and that more convenience store confrontations over loud music coming from a car will leave more teenage boys bloodied and dead. Handguns do not enhance our safety. They exacerbate our flaws, tempt us to escalate arguments, and bait us into embracing confrontation rather than avoiding it. In the coming days, Jovan Belcher's actions and their possible connection to football will be analyzed. Who knows? And then he goes on to say, if Jovan Belcher didn't possess a gun, he and Kasandra Perkins would both be alive today. That's not true. Go ask, what was it, Jason Goldman and who was the other gal? Nicole something. The man that, or the two folks that O.J. Simpson killed with a knife. Remember that? Just basically sawed their heads off. Yeah, with a knife. Okay? Hello, Mr. Whitlock, Mr. Costas. You guys are a bunch of, I guarantee you're both Obama supporters. And of course, now that I've said it, you'll come out and say, no, I voted for Mitt Romney. You're a bunch of bleeding heart, ignoramus liberals. That's what you are. You know what? I own a firearm. I never go out looking for a gunfight. I see people with loud music. It doesn't tempt me to pull my gun out. It's up here. It's up here. When will you understand that that's what the situation is? Why not ask if this guy had, if this thug murderer, Jovan Belcher, why not ask if he had these issues? How did he get his handgun? Was a law broken for him to obtain it? Is he also a felon for illegally obtaining a firearm? Do we know that yet? No. You're going to blame... Look, a gun is as useless as this. Okay? This is a little air freshener. Okay? See this thing? I can sit this right here on the table, and guess what? It is going to sit there until I pick it up and go like that. Okay? A gun is is useless until someone pulls the trigger. It's the mindset of the people with the gun. You don't ban law-abiding people's rights to own an inanimate object. A gun won't do anything. You don't ban people's rights because of what some other people do. You know what? More people die in car accidents from speeding. So let's ban all cars. That is what you're saying. You know, aspirin kills thousands of people every year. Well, we need to ban aspirin because people have died from, aspirin shock. So all the people that benefit from aspirin need to be denied that because some people die. Why do we look at that? Kids are killed every year with shopping carts, from accidents. They fall out of shopping carts and die. Well, we need to ban shopping carts. I mean, think of it. If we didn't have shopping carts, we would save, hundreds of lives, 100 lives a year of innocent children. If we just didn't have shopping carts. Well, hell, if we didn't have swimming pools, well, then kids wouldn't drown in swimming pools. Better yet, let's drain the ocean so we never have kids drown. Because you know what? We could save lives if we just, did that. And we need to be careful because, there's so many things. You ride a bike. How many kids get head injuries from riding bikes? How come is it I never hear someone go berserk who had a head injury from riding a bike and they never blame their bike riding and not wearing a helmet on them getting a gun and going berserk? Why is that? Why is it all these other types of head trauma, we just don't hear people going berserk? It's just the ones in the NFL. Kind of interesting, isn't it? But this kind of nonsense has to stop. Bob Costas and this Jason Whitlock are just symptoms of this liberal mindset that's absolutely stupid. This is what the liberals love to do. They use this as fuel to go grab the guns. Folks, do not fall for that. Go look at what happens throughout history. Not a little short term, but long term. Look at what happens with dictators and tyrants. Okay? What they do, look what they did in Nazi Germany and Italy and places like that. What do? Tyrants disarm the people. Why? Because it's hard to be really super tyrannical when the people have the means to stand up for themselves. You've got to understand, look, if you don't like guns, you don't have to own one. You know what? There are people that don't like cars because they pollute and they can be dangerous. And let's face it, tens of thousands of people are killed every year with automobiles. We just didn't have them. We wouldn't pollute. We'd save the planet. People wouldn't die in car accidents. People couldn't use them in bank robberies. People couldn't use them to drunk drive. Let's think about it. If it wasn't for the alcohol and drugs, people wouldn't be under the influence and get behind the wheel. How many people are under the influence of drugs and alcohol that go out and commit crimes? Well, if we didn't have drugs and alcohol. So let's go back to prohibition. Okay? Let's just, any substance that alters your mindset, that includes cigarettes. You ever seen a person having a nicky fit? Oh my God. Ooh, gotta have a cigarette. Gotta have a cigarette. Yeah, well, that's what it is. So we need to ban all substances that can alter your state of mind because we don't want you to get in a car or do something with the firearm. So, they want to blame everything but the person who did it. You know what? You can't protect society against people that do bad things. Bad people have been around since people have been around. You can pay, and folks, think about this. There was a law that said you can't murder people. Did that stop O.J. Simpson? Did that stop Jovan Belcher? Did it stop him? No? Oh, really? But there's a law. We need more law. We need more gun laws. Look, we got all the laws we need. You can't stop everything. So, for those of you that watch this, and every now and again, I actually get a video where I get, a couple of hundred people that watch it. But, get out there and think about it. And just spread the word. Talk to your friends and say, it's not guns, folks. Okay? It's not guns. It's not even really, it's not even football. Because if you're going to sit here, that's because if you say the head injury was the cause, well, then everyone with a head injury, would be out there killing people. That's not what it was. This guy was drug-fueled. Who knows what else was going through his system. I heard he was drinking heavily. So he was a drug-boozing alcoholic. Or a drug-using boozer. So, There was a lot more to this. It wasn't football. Come on. Stop making excuses for someone's bad actions. Have some damn accountability for people nowadays. It's always someone else's fault. Never the asshole that pulls the trigger. That's right. I called him an asshole. You know, because what is he? He murdered a woman. I don't give a shit. He took his own life, but he murdered a woman. He's a murderer. You know, they had to hold a trial in absentia and convict him so he dies a convicted murderer. Seriously. That's what he did. You know? Because you don't know what was going through his mind when he pulled that trigger. You could say, oh, he had a head injury. Oh, I could have had a V8. Oh, my head. I'm going to go out and just slaughter people now. Come on. People, accountability, common sense. When did common sense die that we don't blame inanimate objects? Yeah. When did common sense die, folks? Why can't we have a dose of common sense? You know, because again, if I apply the same logic that this Jason Whitlock at the Kansas City whatever Star and Bob Costas, this dribbling moron, you know, if I applied their same logic, then we need to ban swimming pools because people die in swimming pools. We need to ban cars because alcoholics come out and drug users drive cars and they kill people. I mean, this is the mentality that these people have. Okay, you've got to honor. You may think it sounds absurd, but it's not. This is what these people think. I guarantee you, there's people who want to ban cars. You know, like I said, because it pollutes and people die in car accidents. So, you know, folks, spread the word. Get out there and just say, you know what? This was a bad act, a tragic act that led to the death of an innocent woman, and you know, a drug-fueled alcoholic killed himself and killed an innocent lady. That's what it was. It wasn't football where he profited, made millions of dollars. But, you know, you ought to really email Bob Costas and just say, how dare you? How dare you? You've been profiting. Because, if you know, I mean, apparently they're, you know, trying to say it was, you know, oh, well, it was his head injuries, why he was taking, you know, pills and alcohol to dull the pain. Well, geez, you know, a lot of jobs come with pain. Construction workers and you know, so many other activities that require, you know, physical labor where people go home with sore backs and headaches and everything else. You know, but Mr. Costas, you know, we don't profit off those people. You do. You profit off of people frapping their bodies to the point apparently, you know, they take pills and booze and to kill, you know, to ease the pain, and then they go out and kill people. And you're profiting off that. What kind of person are you, Mr. Costas? Huh? Profiting off of other people's tragedy. Yeah, go call Mr. Costas, send him emails, flood him, you know, and confront him with the reality, the ignorance, the colossal ignorance of the statement he made. You know what? To say what he said and to embrace what Jason Whitlock had said, that's to say that nothing good ever comes from firearms. Well, go ask the people who stopped a burglar or a rapist, or, matter of fact, just something that jumps to mind, the two guys in Florida a while back that went into an internet cafeteria with their guns out. And there was a concealed carry owner that pulled his weapon and discharged it, striking at least one, I think both of them, who fled the scene, who were later caught getting treatment for their gunshot wounds. Well, he thwarted a robbery, possibly a murder attempt. You know, guns have a good place. Do we need to monitor to a reasonable point, a certain point, who gets them? Sure. Is a background check a reasonable thing? Yeah. Should we have, you know, perhaps we should ban NFL players from having firearms, huh? Mm-hmm. Apparently, you know, that's what we need to do. So, but I don't believe that for a second. There are plenty of fine, decent people who play in the NFL, and most of which are decent, law-abiding citizens. For those who break the law, you punish them. But, you know, again, we had laws against murder, and it didn't stop this man from murdering this innocent gal, Kasandra Perkins. All right? So, folks, spread the word. Let common sense rule the day. We'll catch you later. I'll try to do a few more videos and kind of get back up to speed on some things. Thanks for watching, and God bless the United States of America.